Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling, an edition of Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling that, much like CC Peniston in the 90s, we are finally doing this episode. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today is the collector, the protector, protect your neck. Happy birthday, Robert Davis.
Hello.
Hello. Happy birthday, Sunshine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And with another year, another blessing, another year of this crazy son of a gun with his crazy eyes on this planet, we're happy to see you here, Roberto. Much love, much respect, my dear brethren. As well, besides him, Mr. Birthday Boy over here, we got the Demon Lady, Demoness, come to caress, take your soul, put you in a hole. She's a Demoness. How are you, Nicola?
I had to giggle at that, sorry. First off, happy birthday to my demonic brother over there. Yeah, fuck you too. Love you, but yeah. How am I? Broken, I guess. That's what I put it.
Yes. So is it like the Matt Hardy broken or the Seether and Amy Lee broken? Because I'm broken.
I don't know. It could be Matt Hardy broken, but he can still walk, whereas I can't at this point.
Well, I mean, that's probably up for debate.
Yeah, well.
What if they can walk or if I can walk? Which one?
Both.
Wonderful.
I'm waiting for the Demon Lady to kind of go, I'm out. You know, you're too broken for me now. Fuck off. But no, she's appearing more now because she's a little more angry. Her vessel's in pain and hurt herself, so now she's going a bit loopy. So,
I mean,
God help it, Reverend.
Your whole knee was deleted.
I know. My whole knee has been deleted. Unfortunately, I got hurt. And again, you know, I appeared on your show a couple of weeks ago, Mike, at 3 o'clock in the morning after being in hospital. And then roll forward last Sunday, I end up in hospital again. Because my knee is fucked. But I'm all good mentally. These two are keeping me sane when I'm not on meds to take the pain away. But yeah.
Well, we have to, because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this world, and this is our pain medicine, so to speak, for y'all, our escape, if you will, to enjoy us three crazy sons of guns. Talk about the world of wrestling. Yes. And
my favorite time of day. Seriously, seeing you two after this happened, you were like, we're going to cheer you up. I was like, you already did.
The feeling is mutual. So today we are finally doing it. The Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, Scarlet Bordeaux origin story. We are here for this one. But before we
took us a year to get
that's right. Robert friggin' did the thumbnail for this over a year ago, folks. And now we're here. He's got to update this.
It's because we get distracted. It's like else that happens, and then we're like, oh crap, prediction. Or some arsehole was always asleep. But right now, I've kind of got a lot of free time going on.
The demons might have ADHD.
ADHD.
To the demon doctor.
To the demon doctor. Okay, so doctors and everything aside, we do have to touch upon this first. A lot of WWE releases, a lot of talents, mind you, as well, did not have their contracts renewed. So the list is as follows. I know who she's going to be mad at, so we'll go through the list here briefly. So today, we found out a couple more releases where Danny Palmer, who wrestled on NXT a little bit, and she was also just coming on to Evolve, the show that's now on Tubi, the former promotion Evolve. Shotzi Blackheart's contract was not renewed. So Shotzi's gone. A couple other people that people were really talking about of this list that a lot of people were talking about not renewing the contracts. They came back to the company 3 years ago, prior to the end of Vince McMahon and to the era of Triple H when that whole thing started, and Triple H really got into the thing. So Braun Strowman and Dakota Kai again is gone. Dakota Kai and Braun Strowman. I look at it from a stance. I look at it from a stance with Braun Strowman. It's a thing of he did great putting over the likes of Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu. He had some great feuds and helping the big guys. But I look at it like this. When you have an Obafemi and you have said Bronson Reed and you have said, Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman's kind of like, and I understand it, but also at the same time, too, that happens in business. You know what I'm saying? Where they signed 3 years ago, the deal's up, they decide not to renew it, and now Braun Strowman once again is no longer with the WWE. Could they call different ways with him? Of course. We could have had another Wyatt 6 run with him, maybe play into that story.
But a nice fucking appear, that is.
But they also I also put into perspective, like Braun Strowman, apparently the story came out and Paul Heyman said it on the Pat McAfee show. Braun, and he took it in stride, but Braun was like, man, like he was crying. He was upset. Like, why am I not on WrestleMania? And Paul Heyman directly looked at him in his face to quote David the Butcher Gillum, God rest his soul, you fucking suck. So he practically told Braun Strowman to his face, it's because you suck. So
it just makes me mad, the fact that he is, like you said, I know you're saying that there's other, other wrestlers, whatever. But at the same time, he's just had such a good run this year and last year. The fact they just went no, I'm like, Saint Rock, whoever does the firing, you need a fucking slap, mate. It's that simple.
TKO. It's that damn TKO.
Yeah, he can fuck off. You know what? I said I won't say. I'm saying it now. Suck my fucking dick, you prat. There we go.
What's some stank on it too? You fucking twat. That's some stank on that number one right there. I'll tell you what. But
that's like a 1.5.
That's like a 1.52.
That's how pissed off I am about it. I'm like,
but that's the thing too. I mean, I look at it from a stance like this too as well with Dakota Kai. And first of all, I love Dakota Kai. Robert can also vouch for me. Same with you, Nicola. From her tenure on NXT and NXT UK. From the main roster, from her work with Raquel Rodriguez and Tegan Nox, from her work with, of course, Damage Control with Io, Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. The problem with Dakota Kai, much like aforementioned Tegan Nox, the poor girl is injury prone. And I know she was, quote unquote, benched, and, she wasn't hurt, as she stated, but not only did she get released, her boo, our boy, that boy Carl Fredericks, Eddie Thorpe, after just being involved, coming off a feud with Trick Williams, and then going for the North American title briefly, and then adios amigos, Eddie Thorpe. So, Rob, I'll start with you on this one because I know you're Eddie Thorpe guy from New Japan, and Dakota Kai, they're gone.
That was kind of a head scratcher because, like you said, that with that feud specifically, Eddie kind of got some traction, and he started to get things going for him for a bit, and now he's gone. So it's just like, okay. Same with Dakota Kai. We did, you did mention she is injury prone and she has had a couple of injuries, but when you put her out there and give her something meaningful, she can deliver. It's crazy to think that, it was her versus Lyra a couple of months ago for the Women's Intercontinental title. And now Dakota's gone. Like, I don't know.
I mean, and I hate to quote my dad on this. And Dad, I love you. I love you. I'll quote Papa Lark. He always talks to me, again, this is my dad, and being around him, seeing him fire people over the phone and in person with his managerial role. It's where I get a lot from. I think it's just they're like, well, he goes, well, they're looking at the minute-to-minute basis and who performs. And I'm like, yes, I get that too. But also at the same time, too, when you hear the fan base and Dakota Kai, who was just, like you mentioned, starting to get traction from the feud with Lyra Valkyria. Eddie Thorpe was in the ring with Shawn Michaels, and he got that little interaction with Shawn Michaels, and he got Sweet Chin Music, and they're doing all that stuff. So it's like very mind-boggling to see that. But again, it could be a performance-by-performance basis to see how they're doing. And then poor Jakara Jackson, who, of course, she was aforementionedly told, but it's like they did this angle on NXT with the metaphor where they're all breaking up, and then Jakara gets released 3 days later, Ora Mensa gets released 3 days later. So the only two of the metaphor that are left now are Noam Dar and Lash Legend. I mean, we mentioned Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, which was another head scratcher, former women's tag team champions. But once they lost those titles, dude, they went nowhere. They got drafted to SmackDown and nothing.
No.
It's
a lot of head scratchers on this list.
Gigi Dolan, who I'm going to say right now, and
that's the biggest head scratcher right there.
You had Gigi Dolan, who was just getting pushed. She just had a women's tag title match, her and Tatum Paxley against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And I could also make if I could think of it myself, it's like, when Mandy Rose got fired for what happened there, they just mostly really kind of just did nothing with her there. Then she has something here with the tag team with Tatum and Shotzi and their collective triple, trio. But then that's it, unless they want to do something with Tatum to make her more on the singles role side of things. And Shotzi can do whatever she wants. I'm going to say this right now. Gigi Dolan, TNA, go with her husband, Zachary Wentz. I think that's kind of a gimme for me. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, because there were some rumblings in TNA. They're not allowed to use, with the blood and the, violence.
They can't blade anymore over there. Yeah.
And,
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. All right. So we'll go over to this part.
I did see it. I did see it. You sent me through earlier, but I thought that was like just a hack it.
Well, we'll explain. Hold on. So, the TNA officials informed the locker room today that going forth, excessive blood and bleeding will not be permissible by the promotion. The edict was made official earlier during a talent meeting. In the case of hardway blood or something like a bloody nose or mouth, blood will be allowed. And it was noted that it's understandable that sometimes blood will be as a result of a contact in the ring, but purposeful, heavily bloodletting is a thing of the past in the promotion. The decision was made in order to protect the health of the talents as well as keeping current and potential advertisers and partners in mind. And then you hear the rumblings that they're talking about like 5 streaming maybe services or 5 different partners. So I get it. I understand. That's from the business side of things.
Yeah, from the business standpoint, yeah, that's fine from the business standpoint. But as far as Priscilla Kelly going there,
yeah,
and knowing what we know that she can do,
don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't know.
No, don't do it. No more tampons, please. No more tampons, please.
All right, okay. No. What are we doing? What? All right, no to the tampon thing. That no, fuck off. No. Whatever, right? No, yeah, no. But what? Blood has always been like the fun part of it.
Yeah, but they don't want.
I get it. I do get it because it's not all the other shit. I get that, but it's just I'm a blood fiend, so I'm gonna be.
I feel you, but yeah, the hard way you can understand, but they don't want you like.
They didn't say that back in the day, though, did they? When they had a fist and that all diving in crowds and all that stuff covered in it.
Friggin' abyss with the barbed wire cuts on the arm. Oh, yes. I remember.
That's what I mean. They didn't care then, so why the fuck? Because it's 2025. Yeah, all right. Well,
I guess we still got AEW for our bloodlust. So
yeah, for Moxley to just gig himself every week.
And,
yeah, I know. But then you've got people like Rosemary and Sue Young and stuff like that who all use blood in our shit. So it's like, really? Yeah.
So
yeah,
those monsters
ball matches, man.
Exactly. What does that mean? The monsters ball have gone now. Does that mean we don't do that no more?
I mean, there's ways where, yeah. Well, look at how
you can't bleed.
Well, there's ways that you can do it where you can't bleed. Yeah, sort of, kind of, maybe.
That takes the fun right out of it, you know that.
I'm loving this reaction. I'm so glad we brought that up. So the other one, Cora Jade. Am I shocked? Oh, I know you. Rob already given the figure. Okay, we'll start with you, Roberto. Cora Jade, Mini Punk, is gone from AEW. NXT. I can see her going to AEW or TNA. She's going back to her original name, Elena Black. Yeah. Let's be honest with ourselves here, and I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. Julia is now a better fit with Roxanne. Like, they started putting her and Roxanne back together, but let's be honest, Julia's a better fit. Cora, after the feud with Roxanne and her being involved in some TNA stuff, she was kind of going absolutely nowhere. And let's be honest with ourselves. If we look from a performance-to-performance basis, Julia is the better fitting heel to be with Roxanne. So I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the Cora Jade firing? Hit it.
I am not a fan of her. Ever since her interaction with Darby on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
that absolutely rubbed me the wrong way. And since then, I'm just like, no, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. There could only be one skateboarder. Goddammit. There can only be one skateboarder, and it's not
one that's good at it. One that's good at it. One that's not.
Friggin' John Laurinaitis and his friggin' going back to the days of the dynamic dudes, fuckers. Anyway, I digress. Go, Nicola, your thoughts on the end of Cora Jade? The generation of Jade has ended in NXT.
Yay!
Okay, fair enough.
Fuck you, Cora Jade. I'm the same with Rob. That rubbed me the wrong way when she was going to Derby. So, and we're Derby fans, so obviously, fuck you, bitch.
The other one's Riley Osborne, who was a part of Chase U and who just got sent to Evolve. Gallus from NXT and NXT UK. Hey, man, the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang. I'm going to tell you something right now. The integral parts of NXT UK, man, the Gallus boys are on top, much like they were in NXT. Wherever they go, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. They were such a good tag team. So
yeah, I mean, if they go back to the UK and kind of get that scene going again, that'd be great. If they happen to come to AEW to kind of revitalize that trios division, that would be that would be kind of cool too.
That would be sweet. But they haven't done anything with the Grizzled Young Veterans when they went there. My God, what the hell happened to Grizzled Young Veterans? Remember that was like a big signing, and then they went to like Ring of Honor. That was it. We never saw them again.
I think they're still in Ring of Honor.
Are they still in Ring of Honor? Okay.
Yeah, and I know they've been doing some New Japan stuff kind of here and there as well.
All right. Well, I will say this as well. We also had Javier Bernal got released, who was the husband of Tatum Paxley. He had just got on to the Evolve side of things. I like big body Javi, but yeah, that injury didn't do much for him as he came back and he was kind of lost in the sauce.
There's definitely some upside to him. I think.
He's very good though. I will say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the releases, guys. I mean,
Shayna Baszler.
Oh, that one. Yes, we'll talk about Shayna. I'm sorry. Thank you, Robert. Shayna Baszler came into this company in 2017 in the Mae Young Classic. She has done many of blood sports. She has a former NXT Women's Champion. She got absolutely wrecked when she got onto the roster in 2020. Should have won the women's title against Becky at WrestleMania 36. Vince McMahon did not get the gimmick, and Triple H got the gimmick. Vince McMahon did not get the gimmick, and kind of lost in the sauce after that. Former tag champ with Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. That she was doing the PCB stuff with. No, what was it? The Pure Fusion Collective, excuse me, PFC, not the PCB, PFC, with Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville, who's also now gone. So the only woman standing in that group left is Zoe Stark, who's still in the WWE. But yeah, it's shocking to me because they just said she was in NXT and she just re-signed last year. She re-signed last year.
Yeah.
Now she's gone.
Is it maybe punishment for her beating up Lily?
Yeah.
You know, this this is Lily's way. Lily, sorry. My wife's Lily, not Alexa's Lily. Lily punished her for, pissing the dough off.
I mean,
you all know what happens when you piss doors off. Ask Chris Reid. He knows.
Check the promo out on Max Wrestling. But no, y'all, I mean, I look at it like this. I think you have Natalya there who's willing to do other stuff and go to NWA and do that stuff with Kenzie Page, and they're doing the partnership there. So you also have a veteran in Natalya, much like a Shayna, willing to be more open with stuff. And Shayna was just kind of Shayna. And I like Shayna, but is it a huge loss? Mm-hmm. No. But I think if she goes to TNA, I'm going to pitch this right now, like we saw in Bloodsport. Give me Shayna Baszler and Masha Slamovich. I'm here for it, dude.
Sign me up for that.
Nicola, your thoughts on the end of Shayna Baszler and WWE?
Like I said, I still think she's being punished for messing with a doll, but no, I'm kidding. I like her. I've always liked her. So that was another one that kind of made me go, why? You just said she signed last year again. So what the fuck? Yeah, make it make sense, because it doesn't. A lot of these who have been top whatever do not make sense to me whatsoever.
So according to Fightful, she had helped out at NXT recently. So I'm guessing coaching, training, what have you, as a lot of them do, and causing a big surprise of her release. So it was a lot of people were surprised because she had just re-signed last year, which
that's what I mean. What the hell?
That was the end of Shayna. And those were some of the releases. But yeah, I think for Braun, he'll be just fine. We just saw him on the jet ski, just chilling like a
I found that earlier. I was like, got to see that for a second. He looked like he's having the time of his life on a jet ski, showing people what.
And the thing is, you hate to see anyone lose their job, but don't wish for other people to be fired, ladies and gentlemen, because that's not cool. Because again, it's not cool to wish people to get fired, and it sucks at that this time. But again, it's just business. This is unfortunately the way the cookie crumbles. So we can vent, but we cannot want to wish other people to lose their jobs because
no one should lose their job.
Like I said, the only thing I said.
He really wants to lose it right now. No, I'm joking. I don't. I give a fuck.
Yeah. I think the thing is, too, the only difference that I've said, the difference between how WWE and AEW does it. Did you see Layla Hirsch recently put out a thing? Because that was the other one, legit Layla Hirsch from Ring of Honor. Did you see what she put out?
No, what did she say?
She recently left, too.
Yeah, she was gone from Ring of Honor, AEW, the whole nine, and she was like, I just wish they would have communicated with me better, because that's the thing. You can say what you will about that, but they at least communicate and say, hey, we're not renewing your contract. It's coming up, but we're not going to renew you, or they let them know. Tony just ghosts them and just lets shit just run out. He doesn't talk to you ever again because he doesn't like conflict. He doesn't like having discussions. He wants to go to the yacht.
I think a lot of people
a
lot of people in the middle, all the help. He needs to get a lot of them need to get their head out of their ass.
Yeah. I can talk to people, goddammit.
Yeah, like that's what you're there for. I mean, Tony can't talk to everybody, and that's just the unfortunate truth. When you're trying to run multiple businesses, and when you're high on
Thunder snow.
Thunder Snow, you don't have the time to talk to everybody. So that's what you got help for. So help them and communicate.
And communicate better. That's all we ask. Communication. It's key in everything. I know you're laughing for the Thunder Snow, but that's the thing. It's the thing too. But it's also his fault because he takes on too many things. I got the Jaguars. I got the Ring of Honor. I got the AEW. We're gonna have the greatest time in the pressure in wrestling. That's the problem. He takes on too many things.
Don't forget
Which one am I missing?
The yacht. The yacht.
To the yacht.
I can't. Okay, we'll do it this way. I'm not headbutting the thing at the end of last show when we did that, and you said go to the yacht, and I just headbutted that.
That was hilarious. If y'all didn't see the ending of the last
it ended with me going, all you can hear is me going, oh shit, I just banged my head and you two laughing.
But that's the thing. I think with Tony, and again, we don't hate Tony.
But he does have his hand in too many cookies.
Yeah, he does have.
He does have AEW, Ring of Honor. He's got the Jaguars. He's got Fulham. He's got it. At least 3 other business ventures that he's working on as well. So, I mean, I see why he's thunder snowed out quite a bit because he's got shit to do.
He does.
But at the same time, that's why you've got a talent relations. That's why you've got people working for you.
You have
to people.
Talk to your people. Don't do the fucking Vince McMahon thing of just I'm going to book everything for myself. He's got to stop. He's got to stop. Anyway, I look at it like this.
What do you mean we're doing wrestling on this show?
What the fuck? You want to air video packages? Everybody knows who Yamashita is. Go out there and wrestle. So yeah, that's my best mixture of Vince McMahon and Tony Khan. Sort of, kind of. That sounds even worse.
Oh, that sounded proper creepy, you know that was a mixture of holy crap. What?
That sounds dirty.
I love wrestling.
I love wrestling.
Save me.
But do you reckon that's how he talks to women? Is that how he talks to women? Is it? I like wrestling.
Wrestling it is, I like.
Oh.
Okay. To the yachts.
To the yachts.
God, I'm not doing that again. That hurts.
But yes,
I'm a one-legged woman now. It's great fun.
Also,
anyone fucks with me, I've got crutches. I can just smack them now. I'm just like, yeah, go on, keep going.
Did you see?
Whack.
Did you see Jennifer Pepperman, friggin' Mercedes rider, talk about feeling vindicated because the woman rider in WWE got released? And it's like, oh, when they get no more women in creative, it's like, shut your punk ass mouth, Jennifer Pepperman, you dumb bitch.
I don't know the fuck that is.
I didn't see that, but I'm almost not surprised.
Yeah, because Jennifer Pepperman is the woman who writes for Mercedes and AEW. She also wrote for her in WWE. So the woman who got released from the creative team in WWE now, I forgot her name, and I apologize, but she just got released as well as many other staff members that have been in creative. And this woman writes on there, you know what? I feel today's a good day because I feel vindicated. And everybody's suspecting that it's because that woman got fired from WWE. And it's like, you fucking bitch. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just fuck up.
Someone just lost their job.
Just somebody lost their job. Like, shut your punk ass mouth.
Shut the fuck up.
Go book Mercedes and make us get even more pissed off. So go ahead. Go on.
Go give her an English breakfast, you know. She might like that. Bitch. Fucking money. Yeah.
Well, let's go to someone who we like who did not get released, but he cut a hell of a promo recently and had a hell of a documentary that is on his YouTube channel. We're going to talk about Killer Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. The origins, folks. Let's get into it. So the first time that we actually originally saw Killer Kross, and before we get to GFW, Global Force Wrestling, we will talk about the fact that this man made an appearance on Monday Night Raw in 2015, very briefly, as he teamed with Darren Young against the Ascension, and it turned into a squash, and it saw the reuniting of the primetime players. We've all seen the photos. We've seen the footage, so I will start with Roberto, seeing a young Karrion Kross, a young Kevin Kross, in 2015 on Monday Night Raw with Darren Young of all people.
You know what? That's not the first time I actually seen Kross. The first time I seen Kross was he debuted in TNA with Austin Aries, and I forgot who else.
Oh, Moose. Oh, we're gonna get to that.
But yeah, that was the first time. But I did go back to watch that, and it was just kind of like, holy shit! Like Kross with no tattoos and no beard. And he had hair before he had hair. Now, a very young Kev. And it was like, oh shit. Okay.
So for you, Nicholas, seeing a young Kevin Kross before he was a killer, what were your thoughts on him with Darren Young against the Ascension?
See, I also didn't know who Kross was until he came into TNA. So I've always seen him with obviously the bald head and the tattoos. So to me, I've always seen him that way, but I have gone back and looked, and wow. Very different with like nothing. Yeah, he looks so different to what he's evolved into now. So it's like, wow, that's mad. That's so cool.
I think this is a good time to bring it up. So this was around the time when he was training with Future Stars of Wrestling in Las Vegas, which love that. I've had the chance to ring announce in that building. That building gave us Killer Kross, L.A. Knight, Solo Sikoa. It gave us Chris Bay. We love you, Chris Bay. It gave us Jay Vidal, who's now in TNA. It gave us so many people that came from there. Brian Cage has even wrestled in FSW. So, yeah, Zoe Stark, who is now currently in the WWE. So a lot of people came from there. And this is where he cut his teeth in the Las Vegas scene. And he was trained by this guy, a very legendary figure from the World Championship Wrestling. And he also worked in TNA, a tag team with Johnny Swinger a little bit. He was a part of the intergender sensation that was in wrestling. The one, the only
Disco
Fever. He was trained by Glenn Gilberti.
That is mad.
So I figured
what he's like because what?
So I brought this up, and you guys could go back and check out the interviews and shows I did with Karrion Kross on the YouTube channel and my SoundCloud.
I've listened to all of them because you sent me all of them days after you did them.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
But that's the thing. We talked about it, and I even said on the show, people can say what they will about Glenn, as we all do, and his views about women's wrestling and his views in general. But I look at it from a stance, too. If he helps and he can have that pearls of wisdom, because he does have knowledge. I mean, outside the fact that he wanted to build a wrestler by the name of Bill Ding, first name Bill, last name Ding, and the Invisible Man, and had some crazy ideas. But he does have the pearls of wisdom, and he's learned from a lot being in the WCW realm. So I'll start with Roberto Davis getting his funk on. What were your thoughts on that Disco Fever training Killer Kross?
I remember looking at Kross's wiki, and I was just kind of looking to see who he was trained by, and then I saw Glenn. I was just like, why does that name sound familiar? Because I didn't realize who it was at the time. So I clicked on it, and I'm just like, ain't no motherfucking way. Disco Inferno trained Killer Kross. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Silence.
Yeah.
Even me, that's saying. I didn't even talk.
Disco Inferno helped one of probably the coolest characters, and people of the last 10, 15 years. I just like, I mean, still even it's just like, holy shit.
Now, Nicola, we'll go to you. Your thoughts on Disco Fever training that killer?
How does someone like him train a badass that is what he is now? It has blown my mind, and obviously because we know what he's like, it's like, how? What really? But look at him now. So obviously he was trained by someone who, washed my blood. I got an answer for that, sparring.
Now, I will say this. Glenn Gilberti is a fellow New Yorker like myself, and I swear, people, not all New Yorkers are like the fellow Glenn Gilberti and Vince Russo, bro. I will say this.
All right, bro. Here's what we're going to do.
Or as Vince Russo likes to call him, Glenn Gilbernetti. I'm like, it's Gilberti, Vince. I think he just does it to piss him off. But I look at it from a stance like this. Glenn Gilberti did give us Killer Kross, so we thank you for that, Glenn. We thank you for that. But yeah.
We thank you for that. But you suck in general.
Well, he's going to come more into the story now because a little woman by the name of Scarlett Bordeaux would also come into TNA around the same time that he did. I have to mention Scarlett because her run was about shorter than his. So Scarlett Bordeaux comes out of the works of Women of Honor. She's taken on the likes of Kelly Klein, Karen Q, and whoever else was in, Taylor Hendricks, and many other women in Women of Honor at the time. She comes in, and she's a heel. She's calling Alicia a toot, a 5. She's calling everybody's a 5. She's a 10. She's a smoke show. She's a smoke show. Y'all are a bunch of uggos. Fuck right off. So we have to, because Nicola remembers this. We'll start with Nicola first on this one.
I do.
Smoke
the only
show.
time I thought, all right. So when she first came in, I was like, obviously, I didn't at the time realize that her and Kross were married. I didn't know that until literally maybe a couple of days later, and went, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Anyway, not the point. Her saying that to Alicia really got me when she went, "You're a," what was it? What number did she give her again?
You're a 5. Everybody's
a 5. And I was like, how can you be sitting there like being the biggest? I don't mean this in any way, by the way, Scarlett. I love you to pieces. But being a bitch then, I was surprised no one knocked her the fuck out at the time. But obviously that was their gimmick, that was their character. But I hated it, but loved it at the same time. She's reminded me of one of them girls at school that just makes your life a living hell. That's exactly what she fucking was.
She's one of the mean
grading. Yeah, she's a mean girl. There you go, best way to put it. But still, it made sense what she was doing, and it suited her weirdly as well. But she's kind of, I don't know, she's grown on me a lot. Because at first I was like, who the fuck are you? I don't like you. Now I'm like, woman, you're a fucking legend. The only ghost hunter I believe in. So fuck yes. Anyway.
That's the thing too. I mean, with WWE, you got to see more of her personality with Shotzi, with the ghost show that they have on YouTube and all that stuff, which I think is very cool in the ghost hunting. But I think her TNA initial run, I'm like, okay, it's the typical beautiful girl. I'm hotter than you. I'm hot. You're not. Vibes. And Scarlett had only one WWE appearance as well. A year after Killer Kross's match in 2016, Scarlett has a match with Nia Jax, who at the time, the big thing they were doing on Raw was Nia Jax was doing the squash matches, and Scarlett was one of those opponents. So it's crazy to see how she went from that to the smoke show character that she was in TNA.
Yeah.
So Roberto, your thoughts on the smoke show? You ain't nothing but a 5.
TNA had a whole, during this time, it kind of had these elements of, Attitude Era WWE, and oh, Nicola's gone. Come back, you.
Come back, you.
Okay.
Oh, we'll get her back in a second. So go ahead, man.
But it just had these elements of Attitude Era WWE, and I really felt the whole smoke show character was kind of there was little elements of the Attitude Era, and this I was just coming back into watching wrestling at the time fully, and I thought it was great. It had an appeal to it, just overall, just the show in general. It's pretty cool.
It reminds me of, we mentioned the Mean Girls, but it's like when you think of like the beautiful women of the Attitude Era, like the Sables and like all those girls that just came in, badassery. I think when you have someone like Scarlett, who's just like, she's kind of generic in Ring of Honor, she's a heel, but she's just kind of there. And you needed that image and you needed that overall aura to say, okay, here's this woman coming in. They did the vignettes of the smoke show, the glitz, the glamour, and the logo and everything. So you had the right presentation of what you were doing, but I think you could concur, and we'll get to the rest of this reign, but you start off strong with the smoke show as a heel, but then it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Because all these other women are coming into the company. So you kind of get lost in the shuffle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I had to remove this fucking thing. It's made my toes go. No, it's made my toes go blue, but that's not why it cut off. It kind of just did that.
So what you're saying is your toe was like Eiffel 65. I'm blue. I'm a D. I'm a D.
You know what? All fucking colours for these to be fucking blue. One of the most uncomfortable shit in the world, I'm telling you.
So we were saying before Nicola came back into the room here, folks. You're fine. Robert was talking about it, reminded him of the Attitude Era with what we saw with women like Sable and this smoke show. And I mentioned this, and we'll follow up on what I just said to Robert to you, Nicola. It's kind of like start off hot with the logo and the vignettes that led to the smoke show coming in, and then you kind of get lost in the shuffle. And she's really not doing anything, guys. She's really not doing anything. Then all of a sudden, they put her with Fala Ba Ba, and KM, Kevin Matthews.
Love Falaba.
And they're a tag team, and they're kind of like, it's like very flirtatious and whatnot. And Scarlett's a babyface now, and they're feuding with the Desi Hit Squad, Raj Singh and Rohit Raju. And so you have that going on. And
Wait, was that this dude? The one who done that dance? The dance thing that he used to do when he walked in?
That's Muhammad.
Yeah, that. Okay, my bad, wrong one.
No, well, he was with the Desi Hit Squad, so I'll allow it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You go from this heel character who could have had a shot for the Knockouts Championship if you would have built a good story around that. But then you put her with Fala Ba 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 and KM, and she's a babyface. Yes. And then we have a match with Rohit Raju at fucking, I believe it was Rebellion, much like this paper that came out, Rebellion 2018. It's Scarlett against Rohit Raju, and it's kind of just made on the fly, and Scarlett wins. And then here is where the Gilberti part comes in. So Scarlett, who then would leave after this, looks like we were starting to get a thing with her and Glenn Gilberti, because Glenn Gilberti was wrestling women. He was doing the intergender stuff like Andy Kaufman would do. He was being a prick. Go make me a sandwich. Women don't belong in wrestling, the whole nine. The typical heelish type of vibes when it comes to women's wrestling and women in general. So you
I don't like him already. Go make me a sandwich. You fuck right off. Oh.
So we were going down that route.
It's okay, not so many people like him, so
yeah, no, it's okay.
That's all right then, but
so we're going down that route, and we don't get the match because Scarlett's done. And then who takes the place? If you want to know who took the place, well, we did 2 episodes on her, Tessa Blanchard, and then we get Tessa Blanchard against Glenn Gilberti, and then
racist bitch,
fuckers. So that happened, and then not too long after the match with Rohit Raju, Scarlett is gone, and then we'll make our way back to our boy Killer here. But your thoughts on the exit of Scarlett, the Desi Hit Squad pairing with Fala Ba 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 and KM, and the match of Rohit Raju at Rebellion? Nicola, take it away.
To be fair, so with her run, obviously she did do that, whatever, but she was like there and then gone straight away. Well, I'm even like. It's like you blinked, and all of a sudden she was telling Alicia one thing, then she was messing around with Parla Bar, and then she was gone. It was like,
yeah, that was it.
What the fuck happened there then? Whose bro idea was that? They could have done so much more with her and Kross together instead of fucking separate runs or whatever, like they do obviously now. But
I think it was before she left. They were doing house shows. Well, I don't know if you call that.
Yeah,
they were wrestling in a gym. I think. The TNA house shows at the time. She was wrestling Trevor Lee, and a couple of clips were going around online, and that's when I first saw Scarlett wrestling, and it's kind of like, holy shit,
she can wrestle.
She can wrestle.
Yeah, but she was really good. That was the thing in TNA. She didn't get to prove that because they didn't let her really wrestle, and it was like, and then when I did see her finally wrestle, I was like, holy fuck, she's a badass.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think she was wrestling Trevor Lee in heels. During those house shows. And she was killing it.
She does it with style, doesn't she, though? That's the thing about her. Even now, like when she was messing around, when she grabbed Uncle Howdy's leg, and she's like, I didn't do it. And I was like, fuck me, you see the claws on that bird? Seriously. But, yeah, that's no, like, being horrible. That's just a wow kind of thing. More wow factor than anything else with her. So, yeah.
That's the thing.
Like I said, my opinion's changed of her over the years. From TNA to now, it's like, and now, fuck yeah, you go, Gil. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I feel you. I mean, we're going to get to why they got released in a second here and why they left. But on the other side of the coin, this guy just comes in. So we saw him in GFW. He took on the likes of guys like Congo Kong, Bobby Roode, Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins, and Joey Ryan, who can fuck.
Yeah, they can die.
You can fuck. You can fuck right
off.
You
know what? I know we're not meant to say that shit, but when it comes to certain people like him, especially, you fuck off, mate. You're a weirdo. No.
Fair enough.
I thought you were gonna tell him to suck my dick, but you probably.
I said I won't do it on the Kross show. I mean, I've done it at the beginning, but now we're talking about Kross. You know what? All right, one. All right, suck my dick, Joe Ryan. You piece of fucking trash. There we go.
There you go.
Enough.
Two. So I mean, we have the inner workings of GFW, who was running that by Batman, Jeff Jarrett and his wife Karen, and the Ponzi schemes.
They can both fuck off and all.
The tortillas for the amigos.
So
Karrion is not the hater.
Jeff Jarrett has
with the tequila.
So Jeff Jarrett has GFW. Killer Kross is one of the early renditions to the group. And these files, we would actually see him because TNA put out GFW Amped. This is around the time when Jeff Jarrett was suing them because of the footage. And it's like, Jeff, it's not even like that much footage, man. But all right, if you want your footage, God bless you. But I mean, that happened. And we got to see more of the inner workings of Karrion Kross during the 2015 time period. And it was not bad. But then this guy debuts, and I was hooked, much like Nikla and you were, since that debut. This man comes in.
Boy, damn.
People are getting attacked. People think it's Petey Williams, but no, it's not Petey Williams. There's security, and then this security guard absolutely mollywops Petey Williams, and he puts the card on him, and I'm like, this is awesome. Because you never saw anything like this. It was new. It was fresh. I had no idea who he was, and then he comes in like this, and I'm like, okay, let's go fucking off to the races. So I'll start with Roberto on this side of things now. Your thoughts on the debut of the Killer Kross?
Oh man, I was so excited because, like I said, I was just coming back into watching wrestling, and my number one, I don't know if funny is this word. My number one gripe was like, where's all the the big dudes that I grew up watching in the late '80s, early '90s? Like that element was missing. Like I wanted to see killers, and lo and behold, I did. When he debuted and finally revealed himself who he was, I was just like, holy shit, that's a big motherfucker. Just out here killing people left and right. This is what I wanted. This is everything that I wanted in wrestling.
So Nikla, him as a security guard, and it turns out he's the one. He puts the card down. He's attacking
the cards. Yes.
No. You literally just reminded me about security guard thing in the card because I'd forgotten about that, and now you're saying it straight away. It's come straight back, and I'm like, oh crap! Yeah, I remember being so excited. I was like, why is he leaving like cards everywhere? And then when they revealed him, when he's standing at the top of that ramp in that jacket, just glare like that leather long jacket thing, and he's just glaring down. I was like, this is the man. He is. You could tell his aura, everything. You were just like, no, this man's dragging your asses to hell. And that is all I thought at the time. Not obviously, I weren't Demoness by then, but yeah, you know what I mean. It was just like this man has got something. There's something different about him. You could just tell the way he looked, the way he was. Yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
My thing too is when you look at a guy like this, and again, we'll say it here early before we go into the rest of the TNA run. The fact that this man was not the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and you had opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have been world champion. Straight up.
He had an aura, but again, I remember when they got pissed when they did fucking Brian Cage and like Michael Elgin for the title, and I'm like, Killer Kross is right there. Like you have a story, you can tell right there. Like, but we went with Michael Elgin because he was new and he was the flavor. So I mean, all right, fine, whatever.
Did he turn out to be another dickhead?
Yeah, but I mean, apparently he wants an apology. Doesn't he want an apology from TNA because it proved like they were wrong or whatever? And like, can we reinstate Michael Elgin?
Well,
Well, but it's like bad PR. It's like you have to look at it from a standpoint like that. You could say, yes, give people a chance. I understand that. But it's also you have to think of the PR for your company. But then again, Tessa Blanchard is also in TNA now. But thank God she didn't win the title. Let's just put that out there. Thank God she did not win the title.
So happy to see that Musha won on Sunday.
Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Thank God.
Oh.
I was so
no one cheering for her though when they see it. There's just silence. Just like, oh,
because it's like we've mentioned this many a times. She has talent. She can wrestle, but she's a dickhead. Like she's a piece
that one.
With a capital D.
With a capital D. It's so cold in the D. How the fuck we supposed to keep peace? That's literally what Tessa Blanchard is. So with that being said, well, yeah, you can't say the next word because it rhymes with ninja. And now I will move on to so I will move on to more
canceled.
Canceled.
That's why I didn't say it. That is why I did not say it because I'm not enough. It's bad enough I get kicked off TikTok. I'm not gonna fucking do that shit.
You can't keep telling people to die, man. You can't keep telling people to die.
I can. I'm a Demoness. Everybody does.
So with that being said, we'll take a detour here because he did have some great bouts in Lucha Underground. He was the White Rabbit. He took on a lot. He was a Paul London and a lot of the luchadors here as a part of the Rabbit Tribe.
About that. The
Yes,
White Rabbit. That was a link as well to Bray, apparently. I've heard that rumour that there was something. That's why he was the White. I think you said it on the interview that he had the White Rabbit idea, and obviously Bray was doing his respect love to that man. But yeah, something like that. Or did I hear that wrong? But I have heard it's so to do with that.
Yeah, I think so.
the White Rabbit was one of those things where, I mean, he wrestled, he would come and kill people. He was a Paul London. It was like one big acid trip, to put in the bluntest of terms, looking at that, and then killing poor Masquerita and everybody that was on that show and everything that was in there, the kidnapping and everything. It was very weird, but it was something that was very an integral part of what we saw with Lucha Underground that made it that wrestling telenovela, if you will. So I'll start with Roberto Davis again. Your thoughts on Killer Kross and Lucha Underground?
I think it was something different that was needed in Lucha Underground. Because like you mentioned, it's just like a one big acid trip. Even though I've never done acid in my entire life and never will, it was something different for the show that gave it a uniqueness. And man, I wish it would come back. It's so good.
So Robert, what you're saying is have you been to a few raves in your life or no?
No comment.
No comment? Okay. Fair enough, Robert. Fair enough.
I don't even ask because I'm going to lie through my teeth. So I'm not really.
All right. So Ray Vaughn over here and this one over here with her rave Demoness relays. Let's talk about Lucha Underground, Killer Kross. Your thoughts on the White Rabbit Tribe, Paul London, Killer Kross, the whole nine? Go.
All right. Okay. So as far as being on acid is never done, never will. This same thing because I'm already mental, so why the fuck would I take something that's going to make me worse? Ain't that stupid?
True.
Well,
true.
You know, I'm already crazy, so no. What I think, the same thing. I was always obsessed with Lucha Underground anyway, so I was already watching that. So seeing him come into it was a bit more of a, ooh, things just got interesting. So I kind of had this feeling that he was going to turn it upside down, and he did. So. Yeah, and as for have I ever been raving? A few times, but not not under influence. Maybe alcohol, but no. And also undergrave raves here are very different from what I go to bed.
I have the image of you guys like Terry Crews and White Chicks where he friggin' gets the worm and starts doing and whatnot. I have the Terry Crews image in my head now. Yes. Oh,
I mean, I only went to, like I said, it was only a couple, but never like doing all the shitty stuff, like watching people. No, never done that shit. Even though I've admitted to being used for different things, but no.
Why is everybody naked?
Why is everybody naked?
Dude, that's another reason why, because I was never that high like the rest of them, so they're all like, I was like sitting there. I'm going home now.
You just turned into Scotty from friggin' Eurotrip. I saw a porno once. The girls never came. Anyway, digress. Woo! Friggin' Eurotrip and the brownies. Those are not fudge brownies. Okay, anyway. I digress.
Oh, don't touch brownies. They're not good, trust me. That was the first time I stopped smoking and doing it because I had a bad trip and was like, you know what? Never again. My dog started talking to me, so I was like,
"Whoa!"
Oh,
you told me about that one.
Yeah, I did. I done an edible. I'll tell it on the show later. I had done an edible, and I've never done it before, and I was like, no one had warned me, don't eat the whole thing. So I sat there without, rookie mistake, ate the whole thing, and an hour later I'm sitting there and I'm like this. Like looking around the room, and then my dog, I looked down at him and he just started to talk, and I was like, that was it. I freaked out, ran upstairs and was like hiding from the dog for 4 hours because I was terrified that he was talking to me. He called me a bitch, He was like, oh, bitch, feed me. I was like, what the fuck? And from that day on, I never, anyone listen, don't ever do edibles. They're fucking stupid. And
don't do drugs, kids. You will talk to your
animals. Do not do drugs unless you're as stupid as I was when I was 19, 20.
You're not
Oh,
supposed to
man.
eat the whole thing. You're not supposed to eat the whole
It's a rookie mistake. The weird thing is, it's a rookie mistake. Because normally they go eat a little bit, but for some reason no one told me, so I just went gonk. And then Harry started talking to me, and now every now and then I give him a look, and I'm like, "You all right over there, mate?"
There you go, bitch.
No,
Give me some more.
but that's what I do when I'm high. What am I doing when I'm sober? Well, I mean, I talk to dolls,
Nah. Well,
but that's no drug related, though. Unfortunately, that's just
voices in your head, and you're not even high.
they count to me.
I know, right? Possession's fun, apparently.
I mean,
I'm an expert on that shit.
that's it's only fun to us for some reason.
Yeah. All these voices just screaming and shouting us all day long, and I'm just like, then the Demoness starts talking, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in trouble now.
So we get to their two favorite parts of the Killer Cross run. So we mentioned he squashes Falaba and Petey Williams, and then we get to Moose faces Austin Aries for the TNA title, loses.
We're Austin Aries.
And then Moose turns heel. And then Killer Cross turns heel as part of the insurance policy. And they are now a trio, Austin Aries, Killer Cross, and Moose. What about the Moose? And we'll start with Nicola on this one. Your thoughts of Austin Aries, Moose, and Killer Cross as a trio?
You know what? Him and Moose, yes. Never got what the fuck that little idiot was doing with him, though. Why? Why? I sat there watching it because I hated Austin Aries anyway. So it was like, there's never been a good, like, he's a rest. No. So seeing him, I was like, you could have gone with anyone else in that company at that time. But you went with that fucking idiot. Why? So I was kind of pissed at it. And I didn't like it. But I like Kross, so I had to kind of like be all right, fine. But no, it was shit. Did not like it.
He was out there for the infamous where Johnny Impact beats Austin Aries at Bound for Glory, no sells the Starship Pain, rolls out of the ring, flips the bird to the Eddie Allen Nordholm, and just walks out. Yep. That happened, folks. That happened.
Yeah,
he's a fucking prick. So your thoughts, Robert, on Austin Aries, Moose, and Killer Cross as a trio?
I actually didn't have a problem with Austin Aries until he did that. That was just like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? But I was okay with this trio to begin with. It seemed fine to me. Like I said, I was just coming back into wrestling. But when he no-sold the Starship Pain and got up and just flipped, I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Many things.
I found out.
And his banana. It was so disrespectful because him and Johnny Impact at the time got into a fight at Moose's Hall of Fame induction, and it just was ridiculous. And they said some stuff. He said some stuff about Taya, and then they got into a thing, and then they were really potatoing each other in the match. And then, of course,
I remember that when that Biss's Hall of Fame that they took all that shit off. Yeah, dumbass. That was like sitting there going, of all people to do that to, you've got some of the biggest names sitting there, and you were sitting there mouthing off being a right jackass. Oh, fuck off. It's like Chrissy Harris didn't slap him around the face.
His social media and found out he was a vegan, and then just things started to make sense.
It tells you everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
If you're a fellow vegan who listens to this, we're sorry, but we're kind of also not sorry. To quote James Storm, sorry, not sorry.
We're not sorry, but we don't mean no disrespect. We just think that Austin Aries is a swat. So,
yeah.
And obviously, if you don't eat meat, that's your choice, but the rest of us do.
Sorry about your damn
look. So think of Austin Aries as like mini Punk. He was the TNA version of CM Punk at the time. So think of it like that. So we go from Austin Aries, Moose, and Killer Cross, and they're feuding with Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer. There's a hardcore match that was very pivotal that started the Cross Eddie Edwards feud. And they would get the win over Tommy Dreamer and Eddie Edwards, and then they would exchange victories back and forth. Then he gets a title match at Homecoming against Johnny Impact for the TNA World's Heavyweight Championship. If there was any time to pull the effing trigger, because these two had history from AAA to everything. Like, if there was any time to pull the fucking trigger, that was it. So we'll start it there. Robert, your thoughts, the fact that Johnny Impact retains the title, they had the history from AAA, they could have done something cool with that story, but you don't pull the trigger.
So now this was pre-TSK before we had our Discord and we were watching pay-per-views together. And I remember watching this and I was screaming at the top of my lungs at the fucking TV that this was the time I was pretty pissed because, like you said, if a time to pull the trigger, that would have been it. That should have been it. Kross still might be in fucking TNA.
Yep. It just, you had so many things with Brian Cage. He could have faced so many people, and we'll get to the Eddie Edwards feud in a second here. But Nicola, your thoughts on the fact that they didn't pull the trigger at Homecoming?
They fucked up so many times, TNA, when it came to Kross. So it don't surprise me, but like you said, I also was like, pull it now. Let him go. He's clearly needs to be world champ, and he should have been. And like you just said, he probably still would have been TNA if they hadn't put him in a fucking cage. But anyway, we'll get to that.
So
we'll get to that part because I actually tweeted him when that all happened, and he liked the tweet because I was like, "You're in a fucking cage, mate. Get out of there." And he's like the tweet. So yeah, I didn't go by the name I go by now, but yeah.
So we go from all of this happening, and the reason why we're going sporadically with this is the fact that his run in TNA did not last that long. It was literally only a year and a half, which is crazy. But he goes into the Eddie Edwards feud. He beats up Kenny, his kendo stick. He destroys Kenny, and Eddie Edwards goes into a conniption over this. And Killer Kross cuts one of the most dastardly promos with the cane. Mr. Edwards, I expect an answer. And it's one of the most hardcore, just nuts, insane type of promos. He's like, you think you're insane? Oh boy, you got another thing coming for you, Mr. Eddie Edwards. And they have these matches, and it's just good, and it fits. There's synergy there. There's brawls. They have the first blood match, and that leads to a victory there for Eddie Edwards. And I mean, they have these back and forths, and this is actually where I believe it all started for the Karrion Kross, Killer Kross departure. So let's talk about the first blood match with Eddie, and let's talk about the promo that led into this with the destruction of Kenny. Nicola, hit me.
I loved that promo. It was freaking amazing because obviously we'd seen him, but we hadn't like seen him. Always cutting promos, even to this day, are amazing. There's no, he is good on the mic. He knows what he's doing. I love the match between all the matches between him and Eddie because they were just fucking amazing. But the thing with the stick, Kenny the stick, didn't the Sandman give Eddie Edmund that? Or whatever it was, fucking stupid thing. That shit drove me mad. He loved that stick more than anything else. So I actually laughed when it got broken.
Well, I mean,
I was like,
Perry Saturn
come on, Eddie.
Perry Saturn loved Moppy, but that was completely different with Eddie Edwards loving Kenny. It was completely different. Like Alicia, he wasn't even talking to Alicia. He was just like, I love this. No.
He loved that fucking stick. And she came out and she kept going, Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. And he was just like, no, I've got my stick.
Got my stick.
You dickhead.
I mean, a lot of men say I got my stick. So, I mean, hey, that's a different kind of stick, though. Masturbation. Anyway, I digress. Robert Davis. Swing it around like a helicopter. Somebody put on some Petey Pablo.
Good Lord.
So, Claude, let's talk about this feud with Eddie Edwards and Killer Kross.
So this is where they were doing the vignettes in the church with Kevin Sullivan, wasn't it?
Yes, what he had the makeup on too.
Yes, those were fucking fantastic. I enjoyed the build up to this match. The match itself, I thought was fantastic. When Kross came out in the preacher's the preacher's robe with the face paint, and he just walking down, I was just like, yes, this is my guy. Yeah. This is great. Was really hoping Kross would have won that, but with all the circumstances surrounding, the writing was kind of on the wall. But so it is what it is.
Stupid TNA.
That brings us to the two reasons of why they had mentioned why it might have been an integral part. So this was an article from Fightful back in 2019. Killer Kross's refusal to blade in a match against Eddie Edwards, I'll come back to refusing to blade, earlier this year may have played a major role in the issues between Kross and Impact Wrestling. It's been widely known that the two sides have had ongoing problems with Impact reportedly not allowing him to wrestle at a AAA show at Madison Square Garden on September 15th. Among the issues the two have had were also the matter of Kross's royalties due to merchandise sales, according to him in an interview with Sporting News. But when asked about being asked by Impact to blade for a match against Edwards at Slammiversary, Kross wanted to make sure that his refusal had nothing to do with Edwards himself. And here's what Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, had to say at the time. I wanted to be understood that I absolutely love Eddie Edwards. I actually used to call him the Commander. That was my nickname for him because I looked at him as the guy who set the standard for work ethic and passion and dedication in the company. Wow. He had been there for an extended period of time, had some of the best matches in the company's history, and it was a great pleasure to work with him. Eddie and I had an idea for what we wanted to do that night, and the company had a different idea. Eddie and I did the best we could with it. Obviously, there's a story out there, and people are discussing with the whole blood issue. I was pretty pissed about that. And then he would go on to reveal the real reason he didn't want to blade, and that was due to a recent spread of hepatitis C on the independent scene. Kross wanted to eliminate any risk of him getting the disease, and so blading was out of the question for him. 100%, and I brought that up that day. I talked about it with everyone that day. Some people knew about it, some people didn't. I was really blown away that they were so interested in going in that direction. Why did we have to do it like that? I just did not understand it at all. I actually spoke with Tommy Dreamer, and I told him I was absolutely not doing that. It's just infuriating. So that was the reason for the fake blood and why he got pissed with that match. So before we get to the other story that also involves Miss Scarlett Bordeaux, I will start with the one who also was not a fan of the fact that they're now they're banning the blood now in TNA circa 2025. We'll go with Nicola first on this because go ahead, Nicola.
I'm going to contradict myself now because obviously that's a valid reason to not fucking blade. Yeah, no, I can't say nothing now because I do love the blood side of it, but in his defense, and he's right, you don't really want to catch anything like that doing what they do. And obviously they do get injured, but then I'm still more into the blood side of it, even though I understand what Kross is saying, 100%. But is that the same reason why they're lessening the blood now?
Yeah,
obviously.
Hepatitis C is a big deal. I mean, look at friggin' Abdullah the Butcher and Devin Nicholson and all that stuff. It happens. It's unfortunate.
Okay, well I'll have to get over my blood fucking lust of wrestling then, won't I guess.
We still have AEW.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean, what?
Tony won't let us down.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, he will. He always does.
Yeah, you're kind of right. We maybe we can get Hangman to drink Swerve's blood again.
Just drinking the blood, friggin'
that still that and the injections in the mouth. What the fuck?
Hepatitis.
Robert, good.
I remember reading that article when it came out, and like I totally get it because I do remember a couple of independent wrestlers being reported of having hepatitis. So just like, okay, I get it. Like, but at the same time, like, where are the protocols? Does TNA have a medical staff? Is there a doctor on site? I don't remember what promotion it was. I don't want to say it was TNA because I don't remember for sure, but they didn't have a doctor on site, and that's concerning. Because
that sounds like a TNA move.
It might have been TNA at the time because they were kind of struggling a little bit there, but if you don't have a doctor on site, that means your medical protocols are probably not up to par, and if your medical protocols aren't up to par, that means people aren't safe, and ultimately safety is the number one thing here. So I totally understand where Kross is coming from.
I say it all the time too in the shows with you guys, and I'll reiterate it here. Like, it's all about the 2 S's: safe and spectacular. Apply your craft in safe fashion and spectacular fashion. What a lot of people really need to adhere to. And here was the other reason why. More backstage details on Killer Kross and his financial situation with Impact Wrestling. This was from the Ring Report back in the day. Yesterday, it was first reported by PW Insider that Killer Kross had requested his release from Impact Wrestling due to being unhappy with his financial situation with the company. An exclusive report by WrestleZone, their sources have gained some more information regarding the situation and the overall pay scale of most talents in the company. WrestleZone confirms that the situation regarding Kross and Impact is indeed true. The Impact star signed a multi-year per-date deal contract with the company company. In 2018, that does not guarantee any dates. While Kross is indeed a regular with the company, the Impact star believes that he should be paid more due to his stock rising amongst the wrestling community within a year. As previously stated, Impact returned with a different offer, but the deal was way lower than what Kross was looking for. In fact, WrestleZone states that the new amount was less than NXT entry-level deal, which is normally $45,000 per year.
Jesus.
Kross isn't the only one on a low-paying deal, as multiple talents currently have their contracts structured in the same manner. Wrestlers are reportedly losing money due to travel costs that pertain to their appearances for the company. WrestleZone notes that these talents tend to make $250 to $400 per appearance, with no guaranteed minimum amount of appearances included in the deal. In addition, it was stated that while there are a number of people in the company that have guaranteed downsides and are making good money, only a couple of them are making a livable wage based on their current pay rates. The good news about Impact's current deal is that the talent is allowed to take independent bookings. There's no word on whether anyone else is currently unhappy with their current Impact deal, but it's been noted that the company will not be granting any releases at this time and expect talent to honor their deals. So that was it. He also did mention at the time that Scarlett was also working while she was also wrestling for TNA. So she had a shoot job while she was working for TNA. That was also a big integral part of why they both left respectively. And together, we would then go see them in the WWE. So we'll start it off here with Nicola. Your thoughts on that whole thing with the financial situation?
I remember reading it. I think me and you were even talking about it at the time as well, because we was ranting, because I was just sitting there going, why are they holding him why are they they wouldn't let him go? That's what I meant. Like, as in, it was like a whole, like, hostage situation of, well, you can't go and go do anything else because we pay you, but we're not going to show you on TV. Make it make sense. This is one of the times I really hated TNA for what they did to him and to her. They should never have done it, and they should have kept his wages as it was, because it is a shitload of money.
And his stock was rising. Like, he was one of the hottest acts.
Of course it was.
Like,
of course it was.
We were all still pissed about the broken Matt Hardy thing too. So this didn't help.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, oh god, yeah. We was all ranting about that as well, weren't we?
Well, yeah, that happened around the same time, because late 2017 going into 18, and then there's that infamous photo of Matt Hardy and Ed the Owl, who at the friggin' airport taking a picture, and they said,
"Oh no, I remember that. Fuck that owl." Weren't that the chant they all started chanting, "Fuck that owl, fuck that owl."
Well, it was going fine until the blabbermouth from Queens had to open up her pie hole, that being Rebby Hardy, and then Dutch Mantel, like you said many times, look at her like, "How about you go take care of your baby?" And he was like, "Fuck you, bitch. I don't need to hear your lip. This has nothing to do with you." But she's like, "I'm his wife, and I'm going to say this shit. Fuck yous all. I'm from Queens. Hear me roar. Queens, my city. I rep my city. Tough titty, Miss Kitty." So I mean, that was one of the things going at the time. So we were all
people have got to know to shut up sometimes. Someone has got to turn around and go, "Shut the fuck up."
I understand you love your man and you protect him, and like, I will give her credit. She did help him during his time in rehab, but goddamn, Rebby, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. I mean, and everybody was still pissed, like Robert mentioned, because we just come off the whole "fuck that owl" thing, and now this is happening.
Yep.
And that was the end of Killer Kross and Scarlett and TNA Wrestling. And for the time that they got, I mean, Scarlett had a short time period and a short window, didn't really get to do much. But him, my God, you had so many things that they could have done. Could have been a world champion, but you fucked up. You fucked up.
TNA fucked up.
You done fucked up, Edward. Norholm.
And
home.
Ed Nord home. So we go, okay, where's he going to go? Because he was in the crowd at Double or Nothing for the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes match. Oh, my God. Killer Kross was there at the AEW event where everybody's thinking, okay, maybe he's going to go to AEW. But then we find out on February 4th, 2020, right before the pandemic, that nerd Ryan Satin on WWE Backstage. And yes, I said that nerd Ryan Satin. Ryan Satin reported on WWE Backstage that Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, has signed with the WWE. And everybody was like, oh my goodness, oh my damn, they going ham like a Dame Drops track. So Robert Davis, let's start with you. Your thoughts on being announced on WWE Backstage that Killer Kross has signed with the WWE.
Just like everybody else, I thought for sure he was going to AEW. You know, he's obviously got some friends there. So it would have made more sense because I think they would have accommodated his style more. But later we would find out WWE is where he wanted to go. Like, that's what he wanted to do. So I was a little shocked. I kind of knew we weren't going to have Killer Kross anymore because there's no way they were letting him keep his name. Thankfully, they gave him a decent name. But, I was pretty excited to see him in WWE and the platform that they have and to see what they could do with him. And I was hoping they could keep the same momentum that he had in TNA.
And literally, folks, a year this man lasted, much like in TNA, literally a year. And then we'll get to we can't wait to get to the main roster run. So since we're in NXT right now, Nico, let's talk about your thoughts on Killer Kross signing with the WWE.
I think I was just glad that he was away from TNA. That was my main thing at the time. It was like, right, he's finally free from them fuckers. No, yeah. Back then you were fuckers anyway.
Fuckers.
Fuckers. And when he appeared, I was just like, okay, let's see what he does now, because now he's free. Hopefully he can do his own gimmick and he can do his own thing. But no. Mm-mm.
Just for the record, you know why I say fuckers like that, right? You know what that's from.
Oh,
right?
of course I know. Yeah, of course.
Well, no, you know what movie is it from?
Fuckers. You're going to ask me to think about a movie now.
All right. Do you know what movie it's from? Bruce Almighty. I'm Bruce Nolan from Eyewitness. Back to you, fuckers.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Hell yeah. I'm Walter Crumble.
I love Bruce Almighty. I just got weirded out when Evan Almighty came out. I was like, what the fuck are we doing now?
That's the way. I like it.
I like it.
Back to you, fuckers. All right. So Bruce Almighty aside, man, fuckers were about to die because Karrion Kross was on the loose. We saw the vignettes were great. The freaking Raven, the clock, the TikTok. They put the hype into this so well, and it came to a head because at the In Your House, the takeover, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny Gargano now the heel against the babyface Tommaso Ciampa. My God, Johnny Gargano, him and Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae are a heel tandem now. They're leaving the empty building. It's an empty arena thing. And who's outside in the black car looking like a boss? None other than Killer Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux making their first on-screen visual on NXT. And then we go to the following takeover at In Your House. And Killer Kross absolutely, dare I say, Molly Wops Tommaso Ciampa. And it's one of the amazing debuts of that time period during the pandemic era. So, Robert, I will start with you. They get a debut match against the former NXT champion in Tommaso Ciampa. We're talking about the Psycho Killer here, and he absolutely gets mollywopped by Killer Kross. Your thoughts on this matchup?
I like Ciampa, but him got killed.
Oh yeah,
he died.
He got destroyed, and it was a great debut, and my hopes were high. Really high. Like I ate a whole edible and my dog started talking to me high.
Shut up.
But,
yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I was happy with that debut. It was good. Things were good.
All right, so pets talking to each other inside at the pet cemetery. Nicola, Stephen King.
Oh, right now I'm eating edibles and talking to dead. Okay, yeah. The next thing. So what?
Nicola, your thoughts on Killer Kross against Tommaso Ciampa, his NXT debut?
I hope that gets clipped.
I hope so.
I really don't know that. This is what happens when Nicola gets on the show when she's shit. Right, what was the question?
Sure.
I'm
just saying, man, you're the one who's talking to your dog. So I mean, Killer Kross and Tommaso.
I was on. Yeah, all right, okay.
Killer Kross and Tommaso Ciampa, his NXT debut in 2020. What were your thoughts?
Fuck yeah! I was like, he's about to go and murder someone. And he did. And I was buzzing, literally sitting, and I don't mean in edible way, I mean normal way. Fuck's sake. You know, you're saying about us talking to animals. I do see ghosts too. We're not going into that shit right now, though. Because imagine me.
It's a whole nother show.
Yeah, we'll have another show on that one about me being weirder than I normally am. You didn't already know that. I thought it was great, and now I can't stop laughing because of what he fucking said about me and the
So he has in a fantastic squash match, and it's a great. Much like Robert said, we're all on high hopes. We're all happy. We're happy people right now. But then he goes into Keith Lee. He absolutely mollywops Keith Lee's best friend, Donovan Dijak, at the time. Friggin' poor Dijak got mollywopped. And then he wins the NXT championship from Keith Lee. And then 5 days later, he has to relinquish it because he separated his shoulder. And I'm like, damn it! He just got the title and he had to relinquish it. Let's start there before we get to the comeback, and then the anger will come out of all of us. Robert, talk about Killer Kross and Keith Lee. He wins the title, then he has to relinquish it. He tears his shoulder.
Yeah, so when the reports came out that he was potentially injured and this, that, and the other, it was just like, fuck, because we kind of saw it coming, and then when he came out and his shoulders in the thing, and it's just like, well, fuck. I was happy that he did hit his catchphrase at the end of that promo, though. No matter where the time is told, in the end, everybody
piece of told.
TikTok. I was glad to hear him hit the catchphrase.
Of course. Well, I will say this. I did pop at Bloodsport when he said, "Tuck your chin, motherfucker." I did pop at that, not going to lie. Yes. So, Nicola, your thoughts on Karrion Kross wins the NXT championship, then he has to relinquish it. He hurts his shoulder.
I was mad because obviously it's finally his title run, and then obviously he had to give it up. But like you said about him saying everyone pays the toll, and TikTok, that was, still to this day, if I still love that catchphrase. And we all do sit there sometimes going, tick tock, motherfucker.
You know, one of the things that did concern me about Kross going to the whole WWE system was the fact that the scripted promos. Obviously, we all know that this man doesn't need a script, like, at all, in any way, shape, or form. But when he did cut that promo, like, you can tell that was him.
That was him being real, yeah.
That was him being Killer Kross, not Karrion. And it's a sigh of relief, because at the time there was just still this apprehension they're going to give him something fucking stupid, like yeah, we're talking in the moment here, but you know, at the time, you know, there was this apprehension that they were just going to give him this crap script, and we know he doesn't need it. And when he did cut that promo, it was just like, okay, they're still letting him be him. Thank God.
So he comes back in full stride. This man absolutely mollywops Damian Priest. He beats the likes of Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Baby, and that infamous promo. Jesus. You remember that infamous, friggin', and then the bell rings. Oh my God. Adam Cole had a freaking death wish with that promo.
God
almighty.
God damn. I didn't know Cole had that in him, but I should have figured. At the same time, I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Kross? Like, use your words. Kill this man.
Yes. And he would. But I mean, all those matches that I just mentioned, he went on a tear in multi-man matches and singles matches with these gentlemen. He's beating the top tier. And when you think of like the heart and soul of NXT, and Pete Dunne had just come from NXT UK, so you're having a nice little influx of talent here from him to work with. And he then would beat Skinny Finn Balor for that NXT championship. I regained it, which was awesome to see. And him and Finn Balor had great chemistry together. And let's talk about this. He goes to these men. He's on the rise, the onward and upward since coming back from injury, wins it back from Finn Balor, and did his thing with the NXT championship, and then we'll get mad again. So we'll start with Nicola on this one. Your thoughts on Killer Kross beating Finn Balor, going through the likes of Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, Baby, Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, the list goes on and on, Damian Priest. Your thoughts on the wreckage, and then finally winning that NXT championship back.
I was happy. I mean, he did go through them like a bunch of dominoes. He was just knocking, everyone was going flying, and he was rising up and up and up. So it was cool to see him beat the likes of Finn Balor and everyone else you just said, because I can't remember every name you just said. But yeah, I'm with you there.
It's the norm. It's the
But no, I thought it was brilliant the fact that he got his title, got a title back. That was quite cool to watch. So yeah, I was happy, even though he was beating people I liked, but at the same time, he's a goat.
You're totally fine. I mean, it's a list of names that like kind of all blend together, and they really were. It was great stuff. I mean, the storytelling, the presentation. You can see where I'm going with this. The storytelling and the presentation was key. He was this undefeated killer, pun intended, running back that NXT championship. He's on a run. And then the main roster happened, and then we'll get to the Samoa Joe. So, yeah, so he has this match with Samoa Joe. He has the two matches. Now, mind you, he's the NXT champion when we get to Raw. So he beats Samoa Joe the first time around to retain the NXT championship. And then he would go on to lose it on NXT TV to Samoa Joe. And they had their little feud. So before we even get to that, on July 19th, the Killer Kross comes out without Scarlett. Might I add this one more time? Without Scarlett, because they wanted to bring him up. God damn it, we're going to put him in a mask. Oh, God, the Viking mask, this mask. Oh, God, he's going to put something over his face. So he comes out in this fucking Viking-like deal, and he's wearing this loincloth, whatever the hell he's wearing on his fucking shorts, and like he's fucking going to a toga party, and then he comes out there. I'm not being disrespectful, but he looked ridiculous. Like, he really did. I'm not bad-mouthing him. I'm talking about the presentation. Don't kill me. So we get that type of vibe. And then this was also the same night where he wrestles Jeff Hardy, and everybody's popping because Jeff Hardy came back with the No More Words theme song that everybody wanted him to come back with. And everybody's like, oh my God, Jeff Hardy's back with No More Words. Let's effing go. So they have this match, and it's literally 90 seconds. And apparently, if you listen to his interview with Chris Van Vliet, they were supposed to go maybe like 5, maybe 10, maybe 15. And they got shortened down to 30 seconds. And Jeff Hardy, which he's never done in his career, pins this man with his feet on the ropes, and Karrion Kross, the NXT champion, the undefeated NXT champion, loses to Jeff Hardy at a Viking. Robert, go.
When Kross sat up and had that look in his face after the Jeff pinned him, I was just like, I feel you, bro. Why? Wow. What? You came out in the mask. What?
No Scarlet.
Why did he say anything? No, that fucking mask.
No Scarlet. What?
They
got a close up of his eyes, and you can the eyes tell the full story. You can tell he was not feeling this because we were not feeling this. I get the gladiator gimmick. And it could have had some potential to work, but you took one of the best pieces of his entrance. Fucking Scarlett!
His actual wife. Oh, God. And just the whole presentation on the main roster. So
and you put
that. And he was looking forward to feuding with Jeff Hardy. And I mean, they traded victories. Then Jeff would lose to Karrion Kross. And then his main roster run was the shits. Like literally, he goes from losing to Jeff Hardy in 90 seconds and beating Jeff Hardy, then losing to Keith Lee, then beating Keith Lee. And I think he beat like Humberto Carrillo, and that was like it. But yeah, his main roster run did not last long. And then we get the match where he loses to Samoa Joe, to the Muscle Buster, and Samoa Joe becomes the NXT champion. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the remainder of the main roster run with Keith Lee and the matches with Jeff, where they played hot potato, like an episode of The Wiggles. And then Samoa Joe beats him for that NXT championship. Nicola, yeah, I can see you doing the wiggle over there. Nicola, when you're not talking, when you're not talking to your dog and wiggling and spicing up, let's talk about the fact that you're pissed off. Let's talk about the fact that you're pissed off that Karrion Kross was on the main roster and then he loses to Samoa Joe. Hit me. What are your thoughts?
That joke's not going to get old now, is it? Seriously.
Whoops.
Oh, it don't matter. It's my past. It's not who I am now. But fuck off, dog. He's at my door now because you two keep fucking saying it. No, I'm joking. He's not. He's downstairs. Like, yeah. You threw me off with this shit. You know that right now. What did I think about Kieran Cross? Oh, Killer Cross and Samoa Joe.
And the main
Uh,
roster, he's trading
at
victories.
the moment, I did not like it at all. He was jumping through hoops for what? Like you said, they took away Scarlett, then they put him in that stupid fucking helmet, and then it's like, what are you doing with this man? Give him something to fucking do. Stop making him get pinned like for free. Really? Against Jeff Hardy? Okay.
And
Fair play.
It was such a roller coaster of emotions because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. He got a win. Cool. Okay, there's another one. No, he fucking lost. Okay, there's another one.
Okay, it was a roller coaster, wasn't it? It was like a roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, down, and they could never
win. He's still wearing the fucking mask.
You know what? I really hope that when I wonder if I could ever ask him a question, it would be this: did he throw that mask away, or did he set fire to it? Because that's what I want to know. What he did with that mask.
I would have thrown that away. I
would have burned the fucking thing.
That's the thing too, is you think that accessory and aesthetic would help, but it doesn't, and it doesn't make sense with who.
They should never have done that to him. That was another big kick in the balls for him because he's like, I'm the champ, and now I'm being told to wear a fucking mask, cover my face. No, make it make sense. It didn't. It was shit, and it should never have happened.
And then he loses to Samoa Joe, and I'll ask
Roberto. Yeah, what the fuck?
Did you at least like the Samoa Joe feud, Roberto, besides the roller coaster on the main roster?
I was okay with it because I like Samoa Joe, and I know he would do the right thing. I thought it was fine.
And then we find out that this man and his wife get released from the WWE, and then we're like, you fucking kidding me? Again,
another roller coaster of the Kross and Scarlett thing where it weren't even our fault. It was just the way they were treated badly. Non-fucking stop.
And then they get released, and then we're like, okay, well, let's see where they go now. They're not going to go back to TNA. Maybe AEW stuff, Indies. But then, on August the 5th, 2022, certain something happened because Triple H was starting to get the book, thank God. And we were slowly but surely getting rid of the era of the old man. God damn it, put him in a helmet! So,
have you ever seen the movie Gladiator?
Are you not entertained? So,
no.
Not at all.
Not at all. Vikings, gladiators, yeah. So he gets released, him and his wife, and then they come back. Gotta slam you. Swing it. So then he comes back on August 5th, 2022, and Roman Reigns is talking with Drew McIntyre. The Bloodline's in the ring. Drew McIntyre's outside. Then this person comes out of nowhere and absolutely mollywops Drew McIntyre wearing a leather jacket. And oh my God, it's Karrion Kross with hair. And his wife is back with him. They do the TikTok for Roman Reigns on the Bloodline. And you're like, oh my goodness, he's back. He's in a top feud with Drew McIntyre now. Holy hell, this is what he should have been when he came to the main roster. This is the presentation we should have got. This is the one that we had in NXT, but now we amplified that to the 100th degree. Robert, talk about Karrion Kross coming back and attacking Drew McIntyre in 2022.
I was ecstatic because Drew was at the top of his game around this time, and just a feud. I was already salivating at the fact that the promos we were going to get, the vignettes we were going to get, the matches we were going to get. Like, let's fucking go.
Go ahead.
Why did they do this to us?
Oh, you mean why do I keep doing this to you? Because
I know why you do it, because it's funny and it's
funny.
But the WWE and Kross is just like,
we're gonna get to the latest of the stuff very soon here.
Damn it,
Nicola, your thoughts on the return of Kross to WWE and the attacking on Drew McIntyre?
I was happy as fuck seeing him do that. It was quite cool. Also, seeing Drew mollywopped by him was even better. So I don't think I was big a fan of him at the time. Oh, I was, but it was more. I was jumping around because I was like, yes, he's back finally. Maybe they'll do something good with him, but.
Well, So I will say this. First of all, this one using my word, mollywop over here. I like your style.
I know, I've been using it for quite a while. I didn't realise I was doing it until, I Victor went, hang on, I started to suck my dick figure and you two started doing it as well. So damn.
Well, I'm just saying, you go from G.I. Jane mixed with Ricochet. Aha! Why you bald? Why you ugly?
Why you ugly?
I don't like that dude. Oh no, I do like that dude. It's his the other one.
All right,
That name we did not mention.
Yes. Andrew Tate.
That's
on Rumble and his Bugatti and his cigar. Fucker.
Bro.
Fuckers. So moving from the fuckers.
So is that why I did not say a word to that one? But this is a Kross show, so no. But Andrew Tate, you suck.
You suck. So we go from the Drew McIntyre feud. There's a strap match that he wins. He wins a strap match. He loses the cage match. And he's having great matches here. He's in the ring with Rey Mysterio, and they're trading victories. Mm-hmm. He's in the ring with AJ Styles, Uncle Alan, which they just had a great match on Raw not too long ago. Go back and watch it. Like, we're seeing chemistry with Ray and AJ Styles, which I think is really good. He's putting them in there with big names, and he's picking up some steam. And then he feuds with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and then we get the Philadelphia Street Fight at WrestleMania in last year. And it's not a bad match, and I'm so happy that he got his WrestleMania moment. But they take the L. The Final Testament group is put together. So I think the start of this, I will say, what are your thoughts? And I'll start with you again, Roberto, of the Drew McIntyre feud. They trade victories with each other. He's in the mix with Ray and, of course, AJ Styles. And then, of course, the Lashley feud with the Final Testament against the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Go.
You know, there was this, I don't know, it's like watching your favorite sports team. You know, they get a little, they lose a little, they get a little. It's just like, if I still had hair, I'd probably be pulling it out.
Sure, I'll pull mine out.
Yeah, exactly. The matches with Drew were cool. I don't remember being too enthralled with the strap match, but the cage match I remember being pretty good. Him getting in there with Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles, it was just like, okay, cool. You know, he can work with these people. This is cool. Then they had him coming out like a Miami Coke dealer dressed in whatever the fuck that was, and that was just like, not again. Like, why? What are we doing here? Why this? The promos at the time were like watered down versions of the Kross that we knew, and it was just like, God damn, just
goddamn, just throw that shit down.
Just let him be him. He can do this. I swear to God, just give him a little bit and he'll give you so much more. And then the Final Testament form, and I've been a big AOP fan since the NXT takeovers with DIY and FTR,
TM61
or the Revival.
Yeah.
Say yeah.
Yeah.
No flips, just fist. I've been a fan of Authors of Pain since then. So the vignettes to building of the Final Testament were done so great. It was just like, okay, we're back on. We got some momentum again. We're doing something. The vignettes they had for that, and then they reveal the AOP, and it's just like, fuck yes, let's fucking go.
And to add to your point, besides the TM61 feud that the Authors of Pain had in NXT, I mean, the aesthetic of a legend like Paul Ellering, who was the nucleus of what the Authors of Pain were, the great manager who also managed the LOD, Road Warriors, Road Warrior Animal and Hawk, and that type of vibe here that we got there. I think it adds another layer to the mind that goes into it that all of those men had. And the great presentation with the promos. So, Nico, I'll ask you, he did get his WrestleMania moment with him in the Final Testament against the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley in the Philadelphia Street Fight with Bully Ray as the special guest referee and all of that good stuff. So, I mean, I look at it from a stance like this. They're using him. He's on TV. They're building something with the Final Testament. So I got to ask you, what are your thoughts on the trajectory of Kross here from facing top names like Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, and now he's with the Final Testament and they're feuding with Lashley and the Street Profits?
I did like the fact that he was being mixed in with a bigger name. So that meant he was going somewhere. Or he was, being more noticed, not pushed to the side or put in a helmet or, whatever else they could do to fucking make him I mean, I've been the same as you two. We've been mad for ages because we're like, give him his shot. Let him have his run. Stop doing all this bullshit stuff you're coming up with and just let him go. Or let him do him. I went on a tangent then, didn't I? Not normal. It's almost demon now, so my bad. I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. And I mean, I look at it like this. So we go from all of that, and then he starts playing this devil's advocate character, and it's him, and it's him in the Final Testament against the New Day, and which the New Day are now heels and the current tag team champions. But fucking poor Odyssey and poor Odyssey Jones. He was a big part of that. Then Odyssey Jones screwed up.
Sorry, bro.
That man got drafted to Raw, and then a year and a half later, he gets a chance, and then allegations, and then adios, Odyssey. Adios, Odyssey.
Allegations.
Allegations.
Oh, that's good.
And I mean, he was still, I think everything's solved now, but still, it's bad PR if you bring that dude back. So adios, OJ. And I'm not talking about that, OJ. No white Broncos for you. But I look at it from a stance like this. It's one of those things where you had a superstar in Odyssey Jones who could have had some good stuff there, but then he fucked it up, and he could have had a feud there. So he goes from the New Day. And then some person by the name of Mike the Miz Mizanin has got some troubles. He's got some troubles. Mike Mizanin, the Miz. He's got some troubles going on. And, well, he needs some assurance because the Wyatt Six are after him. And then here comes Karrion Kross. And then we get the Karrion Kross Miz and the Final Testament against the Wyatt Six. And Nicholas Giddy, we'll just start with there because she's marking out like a fangirl that she is. A demon fangirl.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So go ahead, Nicholas.
Wait a what?
I said, go ahead, Nicholas. Say what you need to say. Come on, Nicholas. Come on.
See, with this, obviously, I'll admit, I am if you've not worked out, I'm a big word fan. Girl, if you haven't worked that shit out yet, watching these shows. But anyway, that one was hard because obviously I was stuck then because I'm a huge Kross fan and I'm backing up the Wyatt Six and then I'm like, which one? And then I've got a demon going Wyatt Six and I've got me going. So I was stuck in between both, but our matches were fucking awesome. To be fair, the whole storyline with that was really cool, but you fucked that up as well, didn't you? So yeah, never mind.
Robert, when you think of these great minds and Karrion Kross being the only person to pin Uncle Howdy, and he made that known that he's the only person.
You know what? I was not upset about that entirely because I was like, I thought something else would have come after that. I thought it'd then be him coming back and then the Wyatt Six fucking him over and all this stuff. But no. They disappeared after that, didn't they? Oh. They've not been seen since then. What do you do, Kross? I love you, really. Mad love.
Wow. The whole thing is going on. Me and Nicola, we're just like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Conflicted.
Yeah.
Wyatt Six. Like, Final Testament. Fuck!
That was literally our conversation that whole fucking time was me and him going, which one? Demon saying one thing, that's something. Yeah, we were literally all stuck in that.
Yeah, but it was so good, and we were clamoring for this. Like, you just give Kross something. Give him this much. He's going to give you this much more. You can't see it because I'm not in the full frame here, but we got what we wanted out of this whole thing. Like you said, he was the first one to pin Uncle Howdy, and he made that known. Just everything working with the Miz too, because I'll be honest with you, the Miz is the last person in the fucking world that I would have ever thought would actually work.
Well, the promo helped, dude. That promo that those two cut, like when they set up the Wyatt Six, like I didn't know he had it in him. Like that friggin' Miz promo was great.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Tied to the chair. The Miz being tied to the chair by Dexter. That was fucking sick. I was like, because obviously again, he was a mute and he started talking because I said it on the show. But that's what I'm putting it down to. It really weren't me. But anyway.
The one place where Kross excels is the stuff on social media. When he put the little promo, I guess, of him and Scarlett talking in the hotel. Hey, it's been 20 minutes. Maybe we should go get Miz. He's probably dead.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Like, imagine if that was on TV. Like, how cool would that have been?
he does these Instagram videos and these Twitter posts. And it's like, why are we not, like Robert said, why are we not seeing this on TV? Like, this is another extension. This is who he is. The devil's advocate character. I know we mentioned it on the last show. Nicola was not a fan of him and Logan Paul beating down AJ Styles, and then him telling him, no, Alan, don't hit him with the knucks. Don't hit him with the knucks. And everything. And of course, the shoot promo that just happened, which was insane. But that's his strong suit. Let him talk. Let him cut the promos. Let him be him. And just fucking roll with it. And then, well, this brings us to the criticism part, because the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, has their discourse. And our girl Ella J, and Ella J, I love you. I just had her on the LFC podcast. We talked about that promo, and she's a fan. She enjoyed the promo, but she, like a lot of people in the Internet Wrestling Community, you see the constant discourse of, oh, I think he's boring. I don't really see anything with Karrion Kross. Mind you, these are the same people who have only seen the WWE run. They haven't seen the TNA run like we have. And then there's people
sorry, that's one man I'm never going to get bored of seeing. Just right now.
Yeah, but Ella J is in that category, and I don't judge Ella J for that. I mean, you can.
We don't judge Ella. We judge every other motherfucker.
Yes, you're fine, Ella, with that. But yeah, the other people that are. Yeah, but we just like he's boring. Wrestling, whatever. He could talk, that's great. But yeah, when he gets in the ring, it's he blows chunks, and I'm like, not really, really.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
This man can probably legit kill you.
Yes, like Bloodsport. Watch him against Junior Kratos and friggin' all these people he's had on Bloodsport. My God.
You know my favorite promo I've seen him do, and we watched it on our show as well. And it's that one where he's sitting in the dark and he's got the TV in front of him. And he's talking to younger Killer Kross.
Yes.
And they're interacting, and then Scarlett knocks on the door, and she goes, "Who are you talking to?" And he goes, like, kind of does the side look and goes, "No one." And looks back at the TV, and the young Kross is still like kind of smiling at him. That was fucking epic. That needs to be on show, not on Instagram, not on Twitter. It needs to be there.
That was before he came back, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like, I'm just talking to myself. Like, that was great. Like, why couldn't we do that?
That's just after the Wyatt Six. He pinned Uncle Howdy, and they'd gone over to supposedly SmackDown. Not that we've seen them, but
that was another thing. I hated how they killed that feud, because it's like, I got the Wyatt Six traded to SmackDown, and then Karrion Kross's revenge was, no, Miz, you're going to go to SmackDown now, and then now your problem, and then now Miz is with Carmella hates.
I wish they hadn't done that, because they could have carried on that story with the Wyatts, left them where they were, let it carry on, and then he could have kept. Like he does right now. I'm loving the look, by the way. The long hair and the confusion, the way he fucks around with people's heads. It's so funny.
But that's the thing, too. You could have had
and Sami Zayn just saying, fucking wig on.
Like, he's like, Sammy, you better make the right decision. He's done it with AJ, like the whole nine. It's very cool. The aesthetic of dressing like the people that he's feuding with that Roberts mentioned. You have the entire package in a superstar, and you tease the final encounter between the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six. Then nothing. And it just, but it's unfortunate. But I think where he goes now, and if you've not seen the documentary, watch it. Remy Marcel, who's a great wrestler from Future Stars of Wrestling, he trains a lot of talent there. He's in it talking with Kross about his career trajectory, and you just get to see the man. Yeah, it's on his YouTube channel. It's like 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go have a look at that later on. Oh, by the way,
it just came out in the last, I think, 2 days.
Oh, Demon Hour, okay.
How did you know?
But that's the thing too, is you have so many layers of characters and aesthetic that make this guy who he is. And the fact that I'm glad he didn't wrestle at WrestleMania. He got a spot at WrestleMania. He even says in documentary, when he got eliminated in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, people booed because they were in Las Vegas. And it's like, why couldn't you have him win, or why couldn't he wrestle on WrestleMania? People were clamoring for him versus Randy Orton. And again, great for Joe Hendry to get that spot. But they could have did something with Karrion Kross and Randy Orton, the hometown boy. Like, I mean, he got the spot on Mania with the AJ Logan Paul match, but still, it's like, I understand the story you're trying to tell, but again, you have something there. Let's fucking just rock it till the wheels fall off with it,
Do you reckon it's going to end up him versus Kross versus AJ at some point?
Well, they already did it on
Raw.
Yeah.
All right, and never mind. That was that idea just flew out the window. I've already done it. Never mind.
I don't know.
And fuck you, Logan Paul. Just saying.
I don't know. I think the future for Karrion Kross, I mean, we've seen him since his career. For those that say he's boring, watch the TNA stuff.
That man is not boring.
Watch the AAA stuff.
Watch the AAA stuff. Him and Johnny.
Yep. The indie stuff. Like,
watch
just don't don't watch the stuff where he was stuck in that helmet because he didn't want to be in it anyway, and he's admitted that on his own.
And I mean,
When he was interviewed by Chris Singer, he was like, he went, I had people coming up to me saying, we feel really bad for you. And he's like, I know, I can't do nothing about it though. And I'm thinking, how the fuck do you think he feels in that mask, looking, going, what the fuck am I doing?
he was
You
being
know what I
a
mean?
soldier, as he put in that promo.
Yeah, I know.
That promo still, like, and he's like, fuck it, this is Killer Kross, and like we mentioned, Scarlett calling him down, calling him by his real name. That's the thing. Give me the work Brian Pillman type shoot vibes, that loose cannon type of Karrion Kross, and I'm here for it. It's just, again, there's always the discourse that people are going to say about him. Guess he's all promos, no action, which for those, again, at the end of the day, too, yes, you have at the end of the day, a man who brings a lot to the table. We just discussed and went through his career, his trajectory, his ups and downs, and for us, we can't wait to see what he does next. I know a lot of people who are of the Kross cult want to see more of the man that is the Toll Man, Karrion Kross. So TikTok, tuck your chin. Yeah.
It's great to finally see people realizing what we've known this entire
For years.
time. For years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love watching his little videos he does. Like, you know, when he's messing, like, in reality, him and Scarlett, and he wanted to go and, was it, I sent you a video at Christmas and he'd seen some lights and he got the ump and he wanted to go and break the lights. She was telling him, no, don't do it.
When they were in the mall in the Santa, he's like, be right back. I just got to go talk to him real quick.
Go to the Santa.
I need that Ultraman.
I know, yeah, Scarlett's going, no, honey, no, you can. And he's like, and his face was like a big kid. And he was like, I'm going over there. I'm going.
But that's the thing too. They have such a
His
great
videos are brilliant.
Yeah, that's
honestly, even out of character, you see him, you're just like, you are fucking brilliant, mate. Seriously.
It's such a great dynamic with the two of them. Scarlett plays the role well with the friggin', the hourglass and everything. That helps. And those two are just great together. And I mean, we need to do more with them. Just like, please, can we get more? Please? Pretty please? Hunter?
If you're listening, please do more with both of them. They need it.
I'm looking at you, Triple H. Hunter, please?
Ayúdame, por favor.
Por favor. But that is our origin story, a year in the making of Killer.
Also, I want to give a shout out. Love to Karrion Kross and to Scarlett, because we think you are legends and you deserve so much more than what you're getting.
Absolutely. The man can talk, the man can fight, the man can wrestle. It may not be your cup of tea, but goddamn it, respect the craft, don't sweat the technique.
Yeah.
Let's tuck your chin, motherfuckers. Well, with that being said, Boo Yakashan. TikTok, not on my TikTok for Karrion Kross. So, with that being said, check out the career and the origins of Killer Kross and Scarlett. They both have come such a long way from their initial runs, and it's great to see good people doing the damn thing and really applying their craft in amazing fashion. And speaking of applying their craft, booyah. I see the friggin' black hair. Okay, all right now. I also, well, you can keep it up.
It's
well,
that time.
That too. But also, we'll keep it back up, man, because of what I'm about to say, because you're about to segue in what I'm about to say. So put it back up for a minute. So our next origin story is going to be on the three faces of Su Yung. So we're going to talk about Su Yung. We're going to talk about I'm Susie. And we're going to talk about Susan, that Karen character that Su Yung played. So we're going to get into the many faces of Su Yung in our next origin story. And then after that, we will actually be doing a watch-along of Jeff Hardy versus Brock Lesnar from Backlash 2002. Jeff Nero Hardy doing his thing. And then, well, we got predictions this week because Backlash is next Saturday. Main evented by John Cena and Randy Orton. And, well...
what year is it?
What year is it? I'm cool with the nostalgia act. I'm not going to rag on it. But this I will. No. For the love of God, if Logan Paul beats Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, I'm going to
If that fucking happens, I swear to you, I will literally go over there and I will take him to hell myself.
Please?
That's a promise.
Hunter! Tell TKO to fuck off, Hunter. Tell him to fuck off.
I still don't understand what this whole fucking thing is. And now if he beats Yeet Man, that ain't going to happen.
No.
But then again, fucking, I hate that man so much.
So we got Jey Uso Paul next week, and Pat McAfee's going to die as he takes on Gunther. So we're going to have a lot.
No,
Sorry, Pat.
I reckon Pat's gonna. I'd laugh if Pat beats him. I know it's never gonna happen in any reality, but it'd make me laugh my ass off if he
Did you
did.
hear what they're talking about doing? I hope it's not true. So
Oh,
he did want the services of Big Daddy, the Big Booty Daddy, Scott Steiner. So there's talk. There's talk.
oh no!
Oh, no, not him.
Why? He's old.
Hold on. Don't.
You got 124 and 1/3 chance of getting.
I'm not going to shit on Scott. I'm going to shit on the other guy because there's talk for the retirement match of this building to Gunther versus Goldberg. No!
No! Goldberg, stay in your books. Oh, why? People like...
If they do it, kill them. Just end it quick. Just power bomb chops. That's it.
Are you hiring me to go murder people again?
Oh, God. Why?
It's only going to be a 5-minute match because Goldberg can't go anymore.
That's exactly. Just fucking kill 5 minutes. Oh, so that, we'll predict Backlash next week. And then
Gunther isn't even going to break a sweat.
No, of course he's not. He's literally going to do that. He'll just flick him and Pat will fly across the ring. End on.
That will be next week. We have predictions for Backlash. Oh, boy. That's going to be an interesting show to predict. So with that being said, Roberto Davis, you do great work. I look forward to the updated version of the thumbnail. I look forward to everything. The social medias, where can we follow you and us on Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling? I know we got a Blue Sky coming. I'll let you go, man. Go ahead.
Good Lord, this was a time. This was a good time. But if you enjoyed the time as much as we did, come follow us on Linktree/BlackheartCBD3. You'll find a link over to Mike's YouTube page, our Instagram, or Facebook, our TikTok that we still have. Unfortunately,
I'm working on it.
We're working on it. Blue Sky should be up by the time by the time you're watching this, so you can follow us there. If you want some more wrestling content, hopefully not this unhinged, check out my other show, Kicking It with the TSK, over on the Max Wrestling YouTube, where you got a WrestleMania review coming out soon. We'll be doing Double or Nothing later this month review, so go follow us there. All of our socials, Linktree/KITWTSK1. You could follow me over at Linktree/Hey, I'm Rob. We've been dabbling back into music. We got some guitar covers recently that I just put up on my YouTube. Recently just put one up, Kendrick Lamar featuring SZA, the song Luther. A little bit different from what I normally do, if you know what it is I actually do. So go check it out. Tell me what you think.
And good job as always with the covers, dude. Links will be in the description for Roberto's YouTube and all of our things. And Nicola McDonald, where can we follow you on the Twitter and the Instagram? Floor is yours, man.
Oh, okay. So first off, everybody dies. Follow the Black Hearts. We're always watching. Where can you find me? Right. Well, as they don't mention Twitter no more, neither do I. So that account's not even there. Demoness on Instagram. I still don't know my main one, which will be down there because Michael put it in there somewhere because he's good like that. And I'm doing an impression of Dan right now because that's all he ever says on every show you're on. Michael put it down there. Hey, Dan, by the way, and hey, Paul. Yeah, that's about it. And go check out Max Wrestling, where I made a piggy die. Oh, sorry, a Demoness made a piggy squeal, and he's still not been released. No matter how much a travesty keep on asking me to release him. No, you heard it here. Not happening.
So links will be in the description for everything. And if you want to see Dan on most of our shows, it's mostly this.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I look at it from a stance. Dan, we love you. We love you, Dan. I'm only kidding. If you want to follow the YouTube channel, it's S&M Network Shows, 1.24 plus subscriptions so far. Thank y'all so much for listening to this fine program and all this stuff. We love y'all. Steve and Mike Show, On the Mic with Mike podcast. Hi, Steve. LFC podcast. Everything from pop culture, everything, just a lot of good and fun times on this program, as well as Tommy Bellart, sketchy and funny. Future project coming with the three of us in a joint. Appreciate you, Tommy, on that front. Thank you.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy. So as well, the Instagram is Larkin_92, I'm Larkin MB, SM Show 1 and MCL92 on the Twitter. Follow, subscribe, SteveandMikeShow.com, LFCfights.com. We'll be back for predictions, more origins, and a whole lot of zany fun from the crew here at Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling. For Nicola McDonald, for Robert Davis, my name is Michael Larkin. Thank you all for listening. And, well, the best way to end this is don't talk to your pets because they will call you a bitch.
Same.
To the yacht!
To the yacht!